Hi everyone, welcome to my channel. My name is Willow Rose Moondancer and I make videos here on YouTube about Wicca, and I also have a blog called wiccansaren'twicked.com. Sorry if I look a little bit sloppy in today's video. I am just getting over a fever of an unknown origin and I have been volunteering at a national championships all weekend. So this is the energy that I mustered up. Sorry in advance. Today we are going to continue talking about star seeds. So if you don't know what star seeds are, first I will leave a little link up in this corner over here for you to check out. I did that video last week. Today we are going to get more specific though, because last week we talked about what star seeds are in general and general signs on if you're a star seed. Today we're going to start diving into the three main types of star seeds and the signs that you are one of them specifically. So as I mentioned, there are three main types. These are called indigo, crystal, and rainbow. A while back, when I was doing research about the various different star seeds, I realized that my siblings and I very much have the characteristics of these different types of star seeds. So my brother very much aligns with the characteristics of the Indigo Child, which is what they call indigos, as well as myself, who very much shows the characteristics of crystal children, and our little sister, who very much shows the characteristics of a rainbow child. Anything that I say in these videos are, once again, general when it comes to the specific types, because every person is different whether you're a star seed or not. So some of these characteristics will apply to you, some of these won't. This isn't a complete list of signs. There are lots and lots and lots of signs that you could be these. These are just the ones that I felt were most relevant, at least most relevant in what I saw in my siblings, so that I could give first-hand experience to you guys. So first we're going to talk about what an indigo child is specifically. Sorry, I say specifically a lot. And then we are going to start talking about the various signs. So an indigo child, just like all star seeds, their souls originate from a different planet, and they come here to help improve the earth. How I envision Earth the way that other developed countries may interpret underdeveloped countries. I personally feel that out of all of the planets in this world, Earth is one of the underdeveloped countries, and Earth is one of the underdeveloped planets. And various planets see our issues and want to lend a hand. And so the universal energy source sends souls from these more developed planets to help aid Earth into becoming a more developed planet. That's how I view us. And so star seeds and indigos specifically, they come to Earth to aid us and help us become a better planet. So the method in which the various star seeds help the Earth is dependent on the type of star seed that you are. So for an indigo child, the most common way you'll see them benefiting the Earth is by tearing down old institutions. You may also notice that they're very truth-seeking. They're very good at telling when someone is lying. Even as children, they're very good at it. Something to keep in mind is that a lot of indigo children are often diagnosed with ADD or ADHD or another mood disorder. This is because they're very headstrong and they're free thinkers, which in the medical field often looks like one of these disorders. However, that is not to say that all children or people with ADHD or ADD or another mood disorder are indigo children. This is just a common thing that happens, not a definite thing that happens. So that is our overview on indigo children or indigo starseeds. Now we are going to go into the signs. Today I have 11 signs for you, and the first one being is that they are very strong-willed. As we go through these signs, I'm going to be giving you examples of how I see these traits show up in my little brother, so that you guys can get an idea how they might show up in you or your loved one. So when it comes to being strong-willed, my parents divorced when my brother and I were just toddlers, or babies even for my brother. And from the get-go, I had always been someone who felt very guilty about wanting to maybe spend more time at my dad's, and I wouldn't have the willpower or the bravery, if you will, to go and approach my parents about it and talk to them about wanting to spend more time at the other place or the other. My brother, however, was very, very strong-willed. He did not, it did not matter to him what his parent or what our parents thought. He wanted what he wanted, and he would go get it. And even if it wasn't necessarily something that he wanted, he would be strong-willed for me, because I would voice what I wanted to my brother, and my brother would get it for me. So yeah, he was just very strong-willed and determined to get the things that he wanted in life, even from a very young age. Sign number 2. So you are a free thinker. So when you're a free thinker, this is talking about how you don't just follow society. When it comes to my brother, he makes decisions that are often the opposite of mine. I am someone who, generally speaking, follows a lot of society's standards. And so when my brother's making a decision, he often makes ones that I don't agree with. But that's not something that he's worried about. He's not worried about the fact that I don't agree with them. He knows what's right for him, and he does what's right for him regardless of what I or anyone else thinks. Number 3, you are a nonconformist. So as a child, being a nonconformist can come up and look as being very disobedient or being a troublesome child. And as an adult, it may show up more in not liking to be controlled by others. When it comes to my brother, he always seems to take the more hard road when it comes to learning. For him, he needs to make mistakes, so he takes the less traveled road for everything. And this is not a good thing, and it's not a bad thing. It's just what it is. He doesn't conform and just go on the same life path that everybody else chooses for themselves. This all ties in to being strong-willed and being a free thinker. He just does what's right for him. He goes to the beat of his own drum. So, sign number 4 is that you are a truth seeker. So this means that the truth is important to you, and you're good at knowing whether someone is lying to you or if they're hiding something from you. When it comes to my brother, however, I find that this is not something that I can really speak for him. This is something that he himself would know if he's a truth seeker or not, and it's not really something that I can determine for him or for you. So I'm just going to leave that one as it is. Number 5 is that you are highly intuitive. So this intuitiveness can come in various different ways. Maybe you just are really good at going with your gut. Maybe you have some sort of psychic ability. Maybe you can connect with animals on a different level, on an intuitive level. For my brother, however, I find that this comes up to him as him being an empath. Really great at picking up on other people's emotions, and he draws a lot of low energy people and a lot of energy vampires, meaning people who are in need of energy themselves, and they attach themselves to people who have a lot of high energy, a lot of high vibrations, and they feed off of it, and it often brings the person with high vibrations, high energy down with them. My brother attracts a lot of people with mental illnesses, and people with mental illnesses tend to have this need for more energy, more vibrations. And that's not their fault. That's just how it is. And because my brother has so much love and so much empathy, he attracts these people because he has the desire to help them. He's very selfless. And while that is great that people are benefiting from the kindness and the empathy that my brother have, it can be very physically harmful for him and for other empaths. As I don't know if this is still an issue as much for him now, but I know that growing up, when we lived in the same household together, he was always sleeping. He was always so drained because of the people that he surrounded himself with. So while being intuitive can be an amazing blessing, make sure that you're checking up on your intuitive friends, because they may be giving out so much of their energy that they might need reminded that they need to look after themselves too. So sign number 6, you want to change the world. Now, changing the world could be big things and it can be little things. It can look like someone wanting to be president, a scientist, a humanitarian. But it can also look like the way my brother wants to help the world. My brother right now is going to be going to school for human services in the fall. He also wants to become a paramedic. He's actually doing, catching up on some credits that he doesn't have, so he can also go to school to be a paramedic. And he also wants to get a certificate in early childhood education. He is a lifeguard, and he has worked with the Special Olympics in our hometown. So he's very, very involved in wanting to better the lives of others. Sure, he doesn't want to be president. He doesn't want to cure cancer or something like that. But he is bettering the world one step at a time within his own community. Sign number 7. You are empathetic and compassionate. So this very much ties into the description I gave for sign number 5, being intuitive. But this sign doesn't mean necessarily that you are an empath. It just means that you have a high level of empathy and compassion. You may find, however, that you feel things so intensely that it can actually physically hurt. And since you're so empathetic, especially if you are an empath, you may find that feeling everything that you feel can cause depression and anxiety. So once again, make sure that you're checking up on your loved ones who are either an empath or an Indigo Child, because even though they're such amazing people and they help so many, they probably need a little help too. Sign number 8. You are a leader. So you have a hard time working in a team, or you have a hard time working for a person. My brother very much questions authority. He's one of those people who he doesn't just give you respect because you are an authority figure, regardless of who you are and how high up the ladder you are to him. You have to earn his respect. He doesn't just give it. He has also very much always been in a leader position, even though I'm the oldest and I boss him around. At least I did when I was a kid. He still was often the leader in our dynamic. He was the one who took charge when I was too nervous or anxious to do so. He always took a leadership role in protecting me if I was being teased or bullied at school as a young adult or as a teenager. He was a camp counselor. As I said, he's a lifeguard. So he has very leader-based roles all throughout his life. Sign number 9. You have a loner personality. So this just means that you sometimes find it difficult to be around other people and often prefer being alone. This can tie into being an empath if you are one, because being around everybody's different energies and stuff can be very exhausting, and so having that time to yourself gives you time to refresh yourself. This was very prevalent in my brother, at least growing up. He was always in his bedroom. He very rarely came out and spent time with us in the main living area, likely due to the fact that during the rest of his day he was at school or at work, and he just needed that time for himself to refresh and prepare himself for the next day. Sign number 10. You struggle with boredom. So you often probably struggle with routine and structure, and due to that and your inability to focus, you may have been diagnosed with ADD or ADHD. My brother has been diagnosed with ADHD since he was in grade 2. And when it comes to boredom specifically, he definitely struggles with it, and it has been a lot more prevalent since he moved away from home, as he has less friends here. This ties in with how he is strong-willed. My brother, we grew up in a small town, and I moved away like 2 to 3 years ago, like 3 to 4 hours away from home. And when my brother turned 18 and finished high school, he decided that he was going to come move to the city that I moved to. And a lot of my family told him that he couldn't do it, and he wouldn't be able to support himself, and that he would fail and he would have to come home, or I would have to take him in. But he didn't let that stop him. He still moved. He has his own place. He has his own job. He's going to school in the fall, and he's doing really well. And so I attribute all of that to his strong will and not conforming to what everybody says he should do. He just does what he knows is right for him. But since moving here, he has moved away from all of his friends, And since he's not in school yet, he's only working, it's quite hard to make those new friends. So boredom is definitely something that he has been struggling with. And number 11, number 11, you have a fiery temper. So this just means you're quick to anger. This can be for multiple reasons. It could be for one of these reasons or a mix of all these reasons. One being your empathy, being strong-willed, being a truth seeker, and not conforming to society or authority. When you mix all of that stuff all together, that can cause a lot of anger. And it's definitely something that my brother has struggled with all his life. He has a very intense temper. And growing up, he didn't really have the tools to deal with it. None of us really understood why he was so angry all the time. And I guess this could very well be the reason why, and it could explain a lot of his behaviors growing up as a child. That, however, is all I have for today's video. I hope you enjoyed. Sorry that it's a long one. But yeah, make sure you check out my blog, wiccansartwicked.com. I make videos every Wednesday and Friday, and make sure you subscribe to me here, because I make videos every Monday and Thursday. And until next time, blessed be.